Hey everybody, it's Jamie Payton. I'm back here today with a Workspace video and plus a process bonus here too as well. I haven't done this before, but I can't wait to share with you what I've got. Let's get started. Okay, so what is this, you ask? This is called the 4-tier Stash and Stow organizer. It's a great little organizer for basically being able to take your creativity with you. And what I mean by that is, I've talked about this for a little bit here on the channel, but I kind of, as a hobby, I say kind of because I don't get to it very often, I like to art journal. I have several journals in here that I'm always working on, often working on, I should say. And I like the idea of not necessarily doing it up here in my actual workspace, which I know probably doesn't really make sense, but I like to be able to do it in a more open place where other people can come and craft and do art with me or what have you. But what I did is I gathered some of the things that I would use, and I'm going to process a page in part of this video as well. And so what you can see here is it's 4 tiers. So there's 4 containers, and actually 2 of the containers have this divider section. I don't have mine in there. My other one is actually holding ribbons, and I didn't necessarily need it. So you could completely pull this out. But I did put a bunch of die cuts in here as well as some washi tape. I will utilize those on my art journal page here that I'm going to share with you. This fits 6x8 stencils. So I threw several of my favorite stencils in here, along with these blending tools and some craft palette knives as well. This next one, like I told you, it already fits a 6x8, so it's also going to fit rub-ons, our favorite rub-ons, 49 at Market. So I just had a bunch here that I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. We'll find out, right? And plus, it fits this journal too. ScrapbookCom sells this notebook, and I like to add notes in there, things I've seen, verses, quotes, whatever, that are going to be part of my art page. And then here's the top that I won't even put it on here. I'll put it down here. But it all clicks together. You saw me click these all together. So this, I threw in here some colors that I'm using right now, some distress tags, a little baby smart glue, and adhesive. Yeah, those kinds of things. So, like I said, you get 4 clear stackable trays, which this top tray, it could just, if you filled this with just everything you needed, just take that with you. Then I also mentioned it also comes with the white dividing trays, and there's 2 of them, so don't forget that part. And the top is the lid, right? We have the clear lid here on top. Altogether, this is about 9, almost 10 inches. It's about 9 3/4 tall this way, and about 6 1/4 inches wide this way. When they're all stacked up together, here, let's get them stacked up again so we can see what this looks like. Okay, so when it's all stacked up like this, then we're talking it's about almost 11 inches tall. It's 10 3/4 inches tall. Each of the tiers lock. So there's all your locking mechanisms open up. Isn't that great? Don't you think we need, like, for our homes, we need organizers that actually lock into each other like this? There's a carrying handle here on the very top one. So just grab and go. Literally, like, grab and go. I mean, this could be downstairs. I say downstairs because I'm upstairs. This could be to your sofa. This could be to another room in the house. This could be to your crop. And as you can see, we can get quite a few products in each one of these tiers. So 4-tier storage, 4-tier stack and stow storage. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's make a thing. Okay, so my attempt was to put inside of these stack and stow trays everything I could possibly think I would need to put a page together. It's not everything I would only ever always use, but I did really want to see, can I actually be all inclusive and add everything to these trays that I could possibly need for just having a fun little crafty sesh, me and my journal. So let's see how we do. The only thing I didn't add is there's quotes that I do like to have and add to my book, but We're going to see if I have anything in the rub-ons. There's also some other older rub-ons that I stuck in here as well. I just kind of throw in some stash in here. The other thing I wanted to kind of disclaim here, I am not a professional art journalist. I don't even know if that's such a thing. This is a hobby. I just enjoy, and I'm not even sure how to explain it. I just enjoy having a thought and wanting to art that out. Does that make sense? Now, obviously with our storytelling, that's absolutely what we can do, is we can art out those stories by way of photos and the play part, right? We can still have fun with the play. So we're just going to take this step by step. This is not going to be a very intense, complex, complicated page. It's just going to be kind of one of my basic pages and how I would add something to this small journal that I have here. We're going to let this dry. Okay, I've let that first layer of paint dry. One of the things I almost always reach for is the 6x8 dot and the 6x8 little boxes. And today I'm actually going to use paint. Very often I use ink, but I didn't add ink to my stack and stow stack. Ooh, what's it called? But I didn't add inks to my stash and stow boxes. So we're not going to get to use ink. We're going to use our paints because that's what we had all gathered together. So using my work mat here. Love this thing. These things clean up so nicely. And I have several of them. I use them throughout the house, actually. Use them throughout if you watch my studio tour. I don't think I pointed it out, but I have one of the smaller silicone mats. And I have my die cutting machine, my P6 Spellbinders machine, sitting on it so that it doesn't damage the surface that it's on. I wonder if I want that a little lighter. I think I do. So I'm using some Dilutions paint. I'm using some Distress Oxide. That's probably going to be more. No, I think I like it. Because I want this just to be subtle. I'm going to try to go really light here on the background. So I've mixed that in right there on my surface. I'm going to add a little to my blending tool. And, oh yeah, it's just, oh yeah. Plus, with this paint, it gives you just a little bit of texture. I love texture paste on these projects as well, but it's super subtle. You might not even be able to see it. When you're looking at this in real life, you can see it, and it's just bringing some texture into this. A little bit offset color, not much. That's going to take very little time to dry because I use so little of it. Then I'll bring some more of the white in here. And just as a little side note, again, not a professional here, don't claim to be. This is just going to have just a little bit of blue in it. I encourage you to mix your paints, though, with a craft knife, palette knife, instead of your actual blending tool, because you're just going to get a whole bunch of paint inside there, and you probably really don't actually want that. So we're going to come in here with this dot. Did you guys ever watch the video that I did with ScrapbookCom? I should post that too, because this little concept here with how I come about my stenciling, it's pretty much always the same. I don't change it up too much. Oh, that's a lot of fun. I like that. I don't usually, see, I'm kind of surprising myself a little bit because I usually use the inks and not the paint. So that's fun right there. All right, so far we've used paints that we have here in this box. We've used ink blending tool, which I've used for paint. We used the stencils, which we had hidden away in this box. I'm now reaching for the 49 Market. These are the Nature Study wings. Oh, that's just so beautiful. I just came to me, oh, you know what I don't have in my box? I don't have scissors in my box, but there's plenty of room for the scissors, so I'm not totally worried about it. I actually wonder if I want this brown in here. No, but this is such a pretty color too. And we're going to be going fairly flat today because, well, I don't know, I'm looking in here and I have this butterfly here that I might want. Oh, see, this is what she does. Then she starts pulling some of her other pieces together. Oh, and I just so I tore it off of a thing. I was going to say, I just so happen to have a little quote card that could go on here. This is how she does. This is literally how I do this. I just see stuff. Talk about not really ever having a plan when it comes to my journals. I don't ever have a plan. I might see something and be inspired and think, oh, I really want to try that. But plan, yeah, not normally do I have a plan. So now as I am figuring out the elements that are going to sit on top of here, and I included glue and adhesive just for that reason. There is a part of me that desperately wants to use hot glue, but I will just ignore the emotion. I'm trying to think, do I want this in here too? I think so. I think I do. Okay, and then what I have also in my stash is I went ahead and included a couple of washi rolls, which that would be really pretty there. It could kind of be, it might just really be perfect underneath actually, without really showing what it is, but giving off. Oh, this is really pretty. Can you see that? Yeah, she's smitten. I think it goes this way. I think it goes that way. Oh, yeah. All right, so what have we done so far? So we've laid down some paint. We laid down some texture over the paint. We mixed our paint on our surface. We just grabbed from what already exists. We didn't make anything brand new. It's just when we die cut things, we stash them away because we know at some point we're going to use them again. And I'm going to glue all these pieces in place and then figure out a rub-on. Okay, so I've got a lot of those in place exactly where I think they look pretty fine. And so this is going to be another really subtle rub-on. Well, I don't mean another rub-on that's going to be subtle. Compared to the paint that I've already applied to this background, the paint's really subtle. You can see the texture that was created, but it really is definitely in the background, right? I'm wondering here now as I lay down this rub-on transfer, because, okay, good. I wasn't sure if it was going to go over the paint, but I think it's going to go over the paint just fine. And these little sticks here, they come with the rub-ons, so that was part of that package. And so I have a couple of pieces here kind of sticking out, so I'm just going to go in there, kind of push them back underneath. Oh, they might not go underneath. I might just have to literally rub them. Oh, you know what? They're going to just kind of disappear on their own. Lovely. Love that. So, you know, I could have added this background before I laid down this middle part, but I didn't. It's just kind of the way it is. So super subtle text going on there. I'm wondering if there's any other text in here. Oh, and see, we have, oh, I kind of like that. We have some words that we can use as well. Aren't those gorgeous? Okay, this is the squirrel part of the show. Okay, let's just wrap this up here. I actually wanted to grab some of these, I call them color swatches, and I do get comments, questions asking how to use these. So what I'm going to do in this instance is cut several of them just about right in half. I'm going to just cut this off of the sheet here because they don't rub off, but I do have the name of the rub-ons as well as who it's by here at the bottom. So I'm just leaving that on there. And I think I'm going to come along here. I think they make sense to just come right in here. Yeah, I like that. So it's kind of tucking underneath. Again, we're getting some subtle color as well as some splotches. Okay, so I have that color swatch there on the edge over here. I also added a little swatch of washi tape. Let me clear my space, clear my materials. And then I'm just gonna add a little piece of this stripe. This is also 49 Market. It was also part of the stash that I added to these trays before I got started. And then the last thing I'm gonna do, okay, so we have the rub-ons over here in this tray, but I also threw in some older, actually these rub-ons I keep with my art supplies all the time. And these are Tim Holtz. They're a little bit older. I don't know if these exactly are still available any longer. There are other, I think they're called rub-on remnants. And so there is a Free to Fly in here. I'm going to grab that one and add it. I think I'm going to put it right here. Kind of make sure I get it lined up there as straight as possible. I'm going to go ahead and use my same stick that I had. And this is my art journal entry, my little mini book here, using only what I put in my stash and stow. There's plenty of room to add more. Having trouble getting this on. It's kind of hard to do 3 things at once. But hey, we try. Let's see if we got this in here. I forgot my scissors, but I got room for my scissors to be added in here. I could add inks if I wanted to. And I can just go take this anywhere. I could take this to a friend's house. I could just make stuff in my book. I got room for my book. I have my journal in here. I can make notes if I see something when I'm out and about. Oh, perfect. Got it. Okay, good. And so that is just one way you can use your stash and stow. Am I calling it the right thing? I sure hope so. It'll be linked in the description below. And then what you can make with just one idea for using this for organizing all the fun stuff. And thank you so much for watching this video in process today. If you found value in this at all, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know any questions you might have. All supplies are listed in the description, and I will see you in the next video.